Okay, well, good morning. It's morning here. And we're going to go ahead and distill our whiskey batch. And I guess based on the US TTB laws, it's a single malt whiskey. I'm using 66% two-row malt and about 33% flaked corn. TTB says anything over 51% malt in the mash is considered a malt whiskey. I know that they're trying to change it so it's 100%, but this is our recipe, 66% malt and 33% corn. And so I guess we'll call it a single malt whiskey. And the single refers to distilled in one location. It's not blended. It's not going between distilleries or breweries. Okay, so it's single malt whiskey, Mexican single malt whiskey, if you will. Anyway, here we are. Here's the fermenter, and we got the hose hooked up. Let's see if I can get it on the camera. There we go. Here's the hose. And then here's the contraption, the still. And I have our new pump here. I haven't had a chance to remake any of the connections, so this is what I had. Definitely probably want to rework that a little bit, probably a little too much 90s. So what I'll do is I'll open the valve over there on the fermenter and I'll bring the beer into the still. And I'll use gravity at first, and I'll have it come through the top port here where I have the sight glass, so that when it hits, hopefully any CO2 that was in the beer would escape. I don't want it to be heating up with the CO2 in it. Okay, hopefully you can hear me on the camera. I'm gonna go open the valve here. I'm just gonna do it nice and slow. All right, looks like it's coming through. I don't know if you can see that there on the sight glass. I'll move the camera here. You can see it, there's our wash. So I crashed it. I'm actually filling from the transfer from the racking arm, because I still got quite a bit of yeast on the bottom. Definitely pretty bubbly, so it has quite a bit of CO2 in it still. I think that's just from the fermenting. And you see that down in there? You can see the bubbles. So I'm trying to get all of those removed. Let's see here. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have I have all 6 sections in on the still. My plan is to do a stripping run. I don't have any of the plates in it. I don't have I can never pronounce the word correctly, deflammator. I don't have that in there. Obviously that's for doing the, vodka or a gin. It's been a while since I used this. We've been so busy doing construction, brewing beer for the opening, and now I'm trying to make some whiskey so we can barrel age it. I have about 30 bottles of whiskey right now available for the opening, which were just barrel aged in the barrels. And those were kind of the bourbon recipe. They're 51% corn, 49% malt. But obviously we need more. I got 50-liter barrels of oak coming from a company called La Casa Barril. They're in Jalisco. They do a lot of barrels for the whiskey industry, tequila industry. And those should be here next week. So, all right, so they're both at 19 amps, both sides. And now it's gonna be a waiting game. And I haven't tried this yet, this pump with this. This is got a variable speed control on it. Everything in here is 3-phase electrical. So, and this pump here is 3-phase. So I can control the speed at which the pump, so I gotta hit run. And I got to open the valve. All right. Okay. And I'm like at 12, 13. So let's see. You can see it moving here. Let's just take a look inside. No. Yeah, it's coming. I don't know if you'd be able to see this, but it's basically just cascading down inside there. And basically all I'm doing is taking the wash from the bottom and bringing it up so that it gets an even a disbursement of heat. All right, so I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. But I have these Sankeys. Sankey is a beer tap, if you don't know. These are from Micromatic. And they're great for cleaning kegs and filling kegs. And they have these little valves on them. And you just tap the keg like you normally would, put it down, open the valve up, open this valve so that releases the pressure, and put like a little funnel, or you can put a beer nut with a nipple on it and put the hose on it, and then it just comes right into it. So this is a keg that I have for beer. I think it's just as good as any vessel. It is a clean keg, and it does have CO2 in it, I believe, because after we clean them, we need to pressurize them up to 10 to 12 psi. Okay, so, and then we got to release the okay, pressure's gone. I always put my hand over these things. You start to do that when you've gotten sprayed in the face a few times. So I recommend whenever, even if you know that the keg is empty, you've cleaned it, whatever, I just always put my hand over it because you don't want to get sprayed in the face. It's not fun. So obviously I'm going to keep the valves closed because I don't want to get anything to come back into it. I mean, this is whiskey. It's pretty resilient. It's not like beer. So now I got to plug this one in. Oh, it looks like there's a little bit of gas still in there. Now, there was a little bit. And then I'll just take off this sanitary fitting, and I think it's the right size. Now watch, I'm going to do all this and it's not the right size. Oh, look at that. It fits. How about that? Now, there's no pressure on this, so I don't need a hose clamp on this. I mean, it just comes out, trickles out, and comes down into here. This beer nut, I mean, this is perfect. I used to have like a little wood table. I think I'm using it for something around here. But I'd have a wood table, and then I'd have a gallon jug, and I'd have a little tube just going right into the gallon jug. So that can work. I just checked 3 of the sections, and they're feeling pretty warm. So one thing I have noticed in the past, and I remember, is that you really need to pay attention because this thing can take off on you if you're not paying attention. So don't really mind too much what the temperature in the boiler is. It's obviously a good indicator, and you should check it. But really, the head temperature is what you really want to be paying attention to. We're starting to make some progress. We're at about 110 degrees at the top. Still a little ways to go. Okay, 182-ish at the head, at the top. See some steam right here coming out, or vapor. Whew. I'm going to go ahead and turn down the temp just a little bit. I'm taking it down from 19 amps to 16. It's still hot. But I see some vapor coming out of here, and it might be just a little too hot right now. Oh, yeah, it's starting to boil right there. That's what I was afraid of. So I'm going to take it down to 13. Calm it down. It happens when you're not paying attention. I mean, I'm paying attention, but it's been a while, and yeah, I don't know if you saw any action right here, but the actual wash was bubbling up right here. I think just because it was boiling down in the, yeah, it's not quite boiling. But I just turned the temp down. Of course, this thing is sensitive, so I'm going to bring it back up. I'm about 15 amps right now. I got a daddy long-legged spider crawling up the column right now. I don't know how he's surviving. Okay, here we go. We're right at 145 proof. I was hoping to come out a little hotter, but yeah, we're right around 145-ish. No, 140. Tastes real good. So, I mean, from experience, it's already going down. It's like, I mean, we just started. It's went from 140 now down to 135. So, I'm going to take this all the way down to probably 20 or 10 proof, and get as much as I possibly can out of it. And I'll do I mean, this is 200 liters, so I got another 650 liters in the fermenter, so we'll just keep on cranking. It's cranking. We're right at 105 proof, 110. And I took the power down to 14 amps, so I went from 19 down to 14. Head temp still at 200. So we'll just let this sit here and let it go. Okay, here we are on the stripping run, and we're right at 105 or so, and you can see it cresting over that top there. It's coming out pretty good. I got it at 14 amperes, and we're at right around 200 degrees. So I think that's kind of the sweet spot for the stripping run. It's cranking right now, so I'm just gonna leave it be and sit back and collect. Just a quick update. Like a couple hours later, I'm at 20% coming out of the still, and I would say I got 3/4 of a keg. I'm sure it's probably 80% proof or so. It started out about 140, and then it went down 135, 120, and then it stayed at about 110 proof for a long time. Then down 100 proof for a long time. But now we're at 20% ABV. I'm not sure how much lower I'm gonna go, but this is pretty full. So I'm pretty happy with it. So I think maybe I might have gotten more alcohol than I anticipated. I think I only put about 175, 180 liters in there. I didn't go all the way up to 200. So I'm gonna let it go for a little bit longer. It's really coming out really fast right now. So I figured, 20% is still a good amount, and the machine's able to do it. So I think I might, at least get it to top off here. And then what I'll do is I'll just take everything out, put it down the drain, fill it back up, and start the process all over again. But it's 4:45, and I'm not distilling any more today, but I'll put it in here, and I'll crank the heater on for half an hour or an hour as I clean up and get ready to get out of here for the day. And then I'll come back in the morning and it would already, you know, be warmer than it was this morning. It's at 35 degrees right now. So it should be a little bit easier to get going. So the goal is to finish off the other 650 liters in the tank, in the fermenter. Put it all into the barrels. Then I'll mix, I'll then put it all back into the still. And if I don't have enough whiskey from the stripping runs, I will fill it in with reverse osmosis water, and then I'll go. But if I have enough, I'll go ahead and fill this up with just the takes. My goal is to have two 50 barrels full of whiskey. So 100 liters of 120 proof. That's the goal. So I'll keep you guys posted.